Om Amma. How Gita helps us in daily life. Today's topic, how to do anything without doing it Krishna's way. Short clip number 13 by Chandrasekhar Jayanti. You can reach me at omsanatanadharma999@gmail.com, dear friends. Friends, today's topic, how to do anything without doing it. It means learning the non-doership. Krishna has wonderfully explained it in Gita. Not only that, Krishna's very life reflects this principle. Krishna did everything without doing anything. What is the secret behind it? Let us analyze, dear friends. In the third chapter, 27th sloka, Krishna says this: Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimoodatma kartaham iti manyate. Let us analyze the meaning of the sloka. All actions are being performed by the interplay of various characteristic tendencies of nature, that is three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. The person deluded by egoism thinks that I am the doer of the action. This is what Krishna is saying. Everything is being performed by the nature. A robber robs because he can't help it. He knows it is wrong, but he can't help it, so he robs. A saint prays for the God. It is his nature. So according to the nature, everyone in the whole cosmos is being prompted to do action, and they think they are the doers. This is what Krishna is saying. So let us analyze the explanation of this sloka, dear friends. Now, your hand collects the food from the plate and places in the mouth. Shall the hand claim the doership, saying, because of me, the body got energy? Friends, understand. Look beyond the hand and the mouth. Who is digesting the food and producing the energy? The built-in system is doing that for you. Remember, you are not even conscious of the digestion process that is happening within you. What is the role of the hand in the entire digestion? Think about how the food has come to your plate. So many people have worked to make the food to come to your plate. Right from producing it, right from selling it, right from preparing it, and right from putting it in your plate. And your hand is just only a small speck in the whole big chain, dear friends. And you think you are the doer. And think about the digestion process. Who is doing that? Friends, recognize the dynamics of the higher system that digests the food. You press the switch, the light comes. Shall the switch claim the doership, saying, from me came the power that lit the bulb? Look beyond the switch. Mains, transformer, transmission power, generator, turbine, and energy potential of the hydel power. Big connection that transported the power from the source to your room. Think about it, from the generation station to the the bulb that is lit in your room. Who is doing that? The big connection. Understand, recognize the dynamics of the higher system that lit the bulb. Friends, you get into an aeroplane, train, or bus and say, I travel. Your efforts end as you get into the transport system, I mean the higher system. The system carries you miles and miles. Who makes the journey? You say, I. But in reality, the higher system carries you. Recognize the dynamics of the higher system that carries you, dear friends. You are not the doer. It is the higher system, the divine power, or as Krishna said, it is the tendencies, the trigunas that prompts us to do action. It is the dynamics and interplay of this. And we think we are the doer. We are not the doer. We are the speck in the big chain of action. Friends, again in 5th chapter, 8th and 9th sloka, he tells the same principle from a different perspective, dear friends. Let us understand this. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyata tattavit Pashyan, Shrunvan, Sprishan, Jihran, Ashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Swashan, Pralapan, Visrajan, Grihyan, Unmishan, Nimishon Napi, Indriyani Indriyadeshu, Indriyani Indriyadeshu, Vatanti iti dharayan. This is what Krishna says. Let us understand the meaning of this slokas, 2 slokas. He says, Krishna says these words, wise people always think, I am not the doer. Means a jnani thinks that he is not the doer even while engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, moving, sleeping, breathing, speaking, excreting, grasping, and opening or closing the eyes. Even opening and closing of the eyes, they witness that senses are interacting with the sense objects. So the jnani, the wise man, will not think that he is the doer, because everything is being done by the interaction of the sense objects with the senses. That's what jnani thinks. That's what Krishna is trying to tell us from a different perspective, the same principle. Now, let us analyze this further. We should know there are 2 aspects of every action. Friends, an action one is actual action, actual act of doing. The other one is the awareness, the witness of the action. Let us further analyze it. I say, I'm typing. But at the same time, simultaneously, I'm aware my hands are typing. I say, I run. I'm aware of my body is running and moving. Something in me is observing my running phenomenon. I say, I lift the stone. I'm aware of my arms and body lifting the stone. At every action, there is an awareness within you that is also observing the action done by your senses or your arms of action, dear friends. Let us analyze it further. I say I eat. I'm aware of my body eating. I say I see. I'm aware of my eyes seeing. I speak. I'm aware of my speech. I hear. I'm aware of my hearing. Friends, awareness is expressed through all the 5 senses. Touch, sight, smell, hearing, and taste. We will ultimately realize that we are not the doers, but the awareness, the witnessing every thought and action. We are not the doer, but we are the awareness that is witnessing every thought and action. We will realize this one day, dear friends. Then we will understand how to do anything without doing it in Krishna's way. Friends, let us understand the pyramid of work excellence for our convenience sake. Friends, the top portion of the pyramid is losing the I or the doership. This is the highest way of working. Beyond this is work as worship. Beyond this is service or seva. Beyond this is duty. And at the bottom of the pyramid is the labor. Friends, let us analyze this further for our understanding. These are not watertight compartments, but for the sake of understanding, I've just categorized them into various aspects of the work. What is labor? Labor is more physical and mechanical. It is done under compulsion and there is no responsibility, but it is done for survival. I'm not talking about the physical labor. Anything done with compulsion, without responsibility for survival, and which is mechanical, in your attitude, that can be called as labor. Dear friends, let us understand the duty. Duty is physical and intellectual. It has more attachment and compulsion. It is a forced responsibility, less selfish. Means you do your duty because you are compelled to do it. So you call it as a duty. And there is a compulsion, there is a forced responsibility, but higher than the physical action of labor, just mechanical action of the labor. Now come to the service aspect of it. Service is voluntary. It is both physical or it can be intellectual. It has a subtle attachment. You want to serve people, but there is self-enforced responsibility. Normally, the I is present. It is done for the name and fame. So you get satisfaction out of your seva. Out of that, you try to do it. This is service. Still, there is an element of I. There is an element of ego. There is an element for the name and fame. There is an aspect of it. There is a, this is called a service. Now, let us understand work as worship. Mostly emotional people or devotional people do this. More emotional, both physical and intellectual. There is no attachment. Everything is assigned to the God or the divine. It is an enlightened responsibility, and it is for the sake of love and freedom. You do it as worship. So this is also one of the highest way of doing it. Now comes the highest peak, the losing I or the doership. The losing I or losing doership means it is an enlightened action. You work for work's sake. No, with complete freedom. You don't bother about the results. You don't bother about name, fame, or anything. You don't bother that you are doing it for the God. You don't have, just you do it as a responsibility. There is no responsibility also involved. You have to do, you do it because you intend to do it. Just like that, without any purpose. So this is the highest state which Krishna is talking about, non-doership in the pyramid of work excellence. So I repeat, labor is physical and mechanical. Duty is somehow less selfish, but forced responsibility, compulsion is there. Service, it is more voluntary, but yet for the name and fame. Work as worship, it is more emotional, done with love and freedom, for love and freedom. And for losing the doership is working for working's sake, nothing of I. There is no ego present there. Friends, as you do it, if you come to the bottom of the pyramid, it is bondage. If you go to the top of the pyramid, it is for the freedom. When you're doing anything without the ego, then it is complete freedom. This is what the Krishna's way, dear friends, sum and substance of various aspects of teaching in various parts of Gita. Now, let us see what Swami Vivekananda talks about it. If a painter, losing the conscience of his ego, becomes completely immersed in his painting, he'll be able to produce masterpieces, says Swami Vivekananda. The good cook concentrates his whole self on the food material he handles. He loses all the other consciousness for the time being. But they are only able to do perfectly a single work in this way, to which they are habituated. Gita teaches that all work should be done. Thus, this is what Swami Vivekananda says in 5th volume, 248 page difference. Now, further he says, Gita teaches Karma Yoga. We should work through yoga. In such concentration, in action, there is no consciousness of lower ego present. Remember the word lower ego. The consciousness that I am doing is absent. This is never present when one works through yoga. Yogastha kuru karmani. That's what Krishna is trying to tell to us. Sangham tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. So dear friends, when we do it in the spirit of yoga, in the Krishna's way, the highest I am doing it will be absent. The doership will be absent. Then everything will be done without much effort, without feeding the ego of it. So again, he explains it in volume 132 page. Swami Vivekananda says these words. There are some rare and great souls who work for work's sake, who do not care for name or fame or even to go to heaven. They work just because good will come out of it. That's what Krishna says about Janaka and other thing. Asita loka sangraham eva, for the good of the world. Just they have to do it, they do it. That's all. They don't feel responsibility. They don't feel anything. Just they have to help people. That's all. With good all love, with all freedom, they do everything. So when work is done without the notion of I, everything happens effortlessly, and one becomes just a witness of all actions that happen through him and around him. He will be full of love and full of bliss and full of freedom. So that's how the jnanis work. They do it, but they don't feel they are working. And there is no ego present there. Krishna did everything without doing anything. This is the highest state of work excellence. This is the secret of to do anything without doing it. More we understand about Krishna, the more we will understand this, the principle of non-doership. Friends, please support us in two ways. One, subscribe to our channel Om Sanatana Dharma and forward this link to your friends if you like it. Om Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.